MadBhagavad, Chapter-9, Vidya Guhya Yoga, Confidential Knowledge of the Ultimate Truth. Verse 1. Lord Krishna said, I am expounding unto you who are unenvious this most confidential, secret wisdom, the knowledge of devotion, which when in realization, after knowing, you will be liberated from this miserable material existence. Verse 2. This knowledge is the king of all wisdom, the king of all that's confidential, the topmost in righteousness, purifying, able to be perceived by direct realization, very joyous to perform, and everlasting. Verse 3. O Arjuna, persons devoid of faith in the righteousness of this devotion, unable to obtain me, undergo repeated rebirth on the deadly path of this miserable material existence. Verse 4. All of the universe are pervaded by me in an imperceptibly subtle manifestation, and all living entities find their support in me, but I am not supported in them. Verse 5. Behold my extraordinary and unparalleled majestic transcendental opulence. My omniscient self is the maintainer of all living entities and the protector of all living entities, but never influenced by them or by the material nature. Verse 6. Understand, just as the mighty wind blowing everywhere is always situated within space, similarly, all created beings thus are situated in me. O Arjuna, all created beings enter into my nature at the end of a 4,320,000,000 year cycle, and after another 4,320,000,000 year cycle, I regenerate them all again. Verse 8. Presiding over my external potency, the material energy, I generate again and again all these innumerable living entities, in accordance to the implications of their material nature. O Arjuna, these universal activities never bind me. I am situated neutrally and unattached to all these activities. Superintended by me, the illusory external energy manifests all moving and non-moving entities. For this reason, O Arjuna, the universal manifestation is created. Verse 11. Fools deride me in my divine human form, unable to comprehend my supreme nature as the ultimate controller of all living entities. These bewildered fools of futile desires, futile endeavors, futile knowledge, and futile understanding certainly assume the nature of the atheistic and demoniac. Verse 13. But the great souls, having taken refuge of the divine nature, O Arjuna, render devotional service unto me with undeviated mind, knowing me as the imperishable origin of all creation. Verse 14. Always eulogizing my divine glories, resolutely endeavoring with unfailing determination, and humbly offering obeisances, desires for an eternal relationship, worship me in loving devotion. And by the sacrifice of cultivating spiritual knowledge, other performers offerings of sacrifice worship me in non-separated oneness, in distinctive duality, in differentiated diversity, and as the universal manifestation. Verse 16. I am the 7 Vedic fire rituals. I am the 5 daily acts of sacrifice. I am the oblations of offered to the departed ancestors. I am the healing herb. I am the transcendental incantation. I am clarified cow ghee. I am the fire, and I am the act of offering. Verse 17. I am the father of this universe, the mother, the grandfather, the progenitor, the essence to be known, the purifying, transcendental sound vibration, Om. Also the Rik Veda, the Sama Veda, and the Yajur Veda. Verse 18. I am the goal, the sustainer, the master, the witness, the refuge, the guardian, the well-wisher, the creation, the dissolution, the preservation, the reservoir, and the imperishable Verse 19. O Arjuna, I give heat. I send forth and withhold the rain. I alone am immortality and death, and all that exists in the manifest present, as well as that all that exists in the unmanifest past, and the unmanifested future. Knowers of the prescribed rituals of the three Vedas, purified of sins by remnants of the heavenly elixir, worship me indirectly by such offerings of sacrifice to the demigods. They aspire for entry to the heavenly spheres, where after reaching as their reward the world of Indra, enjoy the celestial pleasures of the demigods in heaven. Having enjoyed extensively the heavenly spheres, the results of their pious activities being exhausted, return to the worlds of mortals. Thus, following the doctrine of righteousness in the three Vedas, desirers of sense enjoyment receive only the cycle of birth and Verse death. 22. Those who desire my eternal association, precluding all else, meditate on me with exclusive devotion. Those persons, I ensure the uniting of their individual consciousness with the ultimate consciousness. Verse 23. O Arjuna, those who worship devotedly different demigods, although faithfully, they also worship me only, but in an unauthorized manner. Verse 24. I am the enjoyer and the ultimate master of all performance of sacrifice, but they do not know me in reality. Consequently, they revolve in the cycle of birth and death. Verse 25. Worshippers of the demigods go to the demigods. Worshippers of the ancestors go to the ancestors. Worshippers of the ghosts and spirits go to the ghosts and spirits. And my worshippers certainly come to me. Verse 26. Whoever with loving devotion offers unto me a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or water, I affectionately accept that devotional offering from that pure-hearted being. Verse 27. O Arjuna, whatever action you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer in sacrifice, whatever you give in charity, whatever austerities you perform, all that you do, make as an offering unto me. Verse 28. In this way you will become free from auspicious and inauspicious reactions from the bondage of actions. Having fixed the mind in renunciation by the science of uniting the individual consciousness with the ultimate consciousness. Being so endowed, you will proceed. Verse 29. I am equally disposed to all living entities. There is neither friend nor foe to me, but those who with loving sentiments render devotional service unto me, such persons are in me, and I am in them. Verse 30. Even if one committing the most abominable actions renders service only unto me exclusively without deviation, one is to be considered saintly because one is correctly resolved and properly situated. Verse 31. One swiftly becomes endowed with righteousness and justly obtains everlasting peace. O Arjuna, declare it boldly. My devotee never perishes. Verse 32. O Arjuna, even those who may be born from the wombs of degraded women, merchants and menials, if they take full shelter of me, they also reach the supreme goal. Verse 33. What then again of devotees, virtuous brahmanas, and saintly kings? Having achieved this transient world full of misery, engage in devotional service. Verse 34. Be ever conscious of me. Be my devotee. Worship me. Offer obeisances unto me. In this way, completely dedicating mind and body unto me, having me for the supreme goal, you will certainly reach me. Thus ends the MadBhagavad Gita Trust translation of MadBhagavad Gita, Chapter-9, entitled Vidya Guhya Yoga, Confidential Knowledge of the Ultimate Truth.